happening in AKWATIA tomorrow, and Crystal will give us the story.
Yes, the Electoral Commission has declared its readiness to commence the distribution of election materials for Tuesday's by-election in AKWATIA. According to the EC's Director of Training, Dr. Srebo Kweku, all officials are trained and capable, but will require the cooperation of all parties involved in the elections. A total of 52,328 voters are expected to cast ballots in the by-election, involving the MPP Solomon Asiedu and NDC's Bernard Bideako. Dr. Srebo Kweku, Director of Training at the EC, and the Regional Director of the EC, John Appiah Bafo, spoke to Mawena Edbeta a while ago.
In summary, we are set for the election. That we can even start right now, so everything is set.
Everything is set. We've seen the materials and all of that ready and present. Has there been communication and understanding between all the parties as to when distribution will be done, and will we need their presence for that to be done as well?
They have been informed, so what we are left with the distribution of the ballot papers. So very soon you will see them around. But all the other materials are in the boxes as we have seen, with the exception of the ballot papers. But you know that is a very critical document, so we will not put them in when, even if they were to be in the box, we will not be allowed inside the room.
Inside the room. And you've mentioned that that's critical. At what point does that come in for distribution? I know obviously the security.
In the next 30 minutes, we'll start handling that.
The security will start handling that. In terms of your officials as well, what's the level of preparedness? We know by-elections come with a lot of intensity from both parties seeking to swing the seats in their favor.
We are ready. We have given them all the necessary training. So we are expecting that everything will be done according to the laws. And we are expecting that all the stakeholders will give them the necessary support. No matter the provision the Electoral Commission will give to the officials, if the other stakeholders are not ready to cooperate, we have challenges. So as I've always been saying, that election is the work of everybody. All stakeholders should be on hand and give us the support. If we are doing and the other stakeholders are not ready, including you, the media, we decide not to give the right information, that you can take on for us. So all the stakeholders, including the media, political parties, security, and whoever, should cooperate with us, and we do professional work.
Just finally on the political parties, we know you've engaged them in the past. Have you engaged them since you got to AKWATIA again? What's been the conversation? Because you've mentioned that you need the collaboration.
I want the region to answer that, because
all right.
it was localized.
It was localized. Okay.
We've engaged them. Last week, Wednesday, we engaged them at the office of the District Assembly. MPP, NDC, and LPG, their reps were present, and we discussed the do's and don'ts of the process. We went into detail and discussed the electoral process, and at the end, they were so satisfied, and they all prayed that they will assist so that we have peaceful elections come Tuesday.
Thank you.
You just heard there the voices of the Director of Training at the EC, Dr. Srebo Kweku, and the Regional Director of the EC, John Appiah Bafo. Martin?
Right, and we'll try and speak to Eric Mahama to give us an idea of what the place looks like, or how preparations have come in as regards how tomorrow is likely to play out. Do remember, though, that here at your Election Command Center, we'll be bringing you full coverage of the by-election in AKWATIA constituency. Polling, we do know, will start at 7 in the morning and should close at 5 p.m. But depending on the queue or the number of people that turn up to vote, some polling stations will end earlier than usual. But then it is only after 5 p.m. that sorting and counting will start. So right from the morning when voting starts, our reporters on the ground will be updating you on our social media platforms and on TV and here at 3FM, so you can also follow developments in the AKWATIA constituency. Who will be representing the good people of AKWATIA in the by-election, or after the by-election, who will be representing them in Parliament, in the legislature? We'll definitely update you on that. And also, if you are in the constituency and you're listening to us, what would you say the situation has been so far as regards the preparation of the Electoral Commission, and then also the fact that it looks very likely that the security has been beefed up following the history of how by-elections in the AKWATIA constituency have been like. Well, let's speak to Yvonne Nikwe, who is our Eastern Regional Correspondent. She has joined us on phone for a quick update. Yvonne, good evening. Thank you for joining us. For those who are just listening on 3FM, paint a picture for us. What's the mood like with less than, 20 hours to the polls opening?
Well, Martin, the mood is one of a calm and peaceful one across the AKWATIA constituency. No political activity is going on. We know that by the law, 24 hours through the elections, no political activity is supposed to go on. What we are seeing is the dispatchment or the deployment of police personnel at strategic points. And so right in front of me are the AKWATIA St. Dominic Hospital. I'm seeing quite a number of police vehicles move to the street, moving deeper into the constituency, Sakrase, Adankwano, Wenchi, and the rest to ensure that tomorrow when the ballot boxes are being distributed, there is security in place already. And so currently the place is safe. It has finished packaging its electoral materials, and tomorrow, God willing, the exercise will begin, and then the voters will start casting their ballot. I'm speaking to a number of the eligible voters. They are actually waiting and willing to go all out to cast their ballot to ensure that they do pick a representative for their constituency after the demise of the late MP, N.S. Yalkumi.
Right, so we'll bring that to our listeners shortly. But tell us, we know that yesterday when the NDC was wrapping up its final rally, they said things along the lines of the campaigning is not ending and that today they will be doing more like house to house, door to door. Did that happen in the morning or it didn't happen at all? It's like every kind of political activity has come to a halt.
Officially, every activity came to a halt, and so you wouldn't see mass exercises like we saw day to the election. Of course, they could go to house, but you will not see a lot of them in party paraphernalia or dresses. But of course, they could walk into houses and do their engagement. That one, we cannot track it because they don't move like they're moving in team of buses and cars. But of course, until the elections are over, we'll definitely see politicians do their bidding and all of that to see that the electors are casting their ballots for them.
Right, and finally, the concern many had was that of security. We've seen over 5,500 police officers deployed to the AKWATIA constituency. Is that intimidating when you speak to constituents? How do they feel? Are they excited that they have enough security around, or they feel this could in and of itself prevent them from coming out to vote?
Before today, they had mixed feelings in Africa. They felt that the numbers were too much. But yesterday and today, they have embraced the numbers of police presence here. They feel that, well, they have had a history already of having a bit of conflict or dispute when election matters, especially when it's between the leading two political parties. So, yes, they have embraced that. The numbers are supposed to be here for their own safety and the peace of the constituents before, during, and after the elections. The women especially felt that, well, it was in the right direction that they come here in their numbers, especially when the police themselves have to go around a number of the communities to engage them, to assure them that indeed their presence here is not to intimidate them, but rather encourage them and then guard them for any eventuality that might happen. Already, we do know that the police, Black Maria, FDU, CPU, all of them and their teams are here to ensure that, led by the Inspector General of Police, they are giving optimal security here.
Thank you very much, Yvonne Nikwe, and do get your very well-deserved rest because tomorrow is going to be a long, winding day, so we'll definitely be coming back to you tomorrow for your report.
Martin.
Right, so that's Yvonne Nikwe, our Eastern Regional Correspondent, and she's there with the rest of the team, Martin Asiedu-Dartey, and other reporters for our sister stations as well. Onuya and Connect are all there to ensure that we bring you full coverage of the election set for tomorrow, the 2nd of September, where AKWATIA constituents will be electing their member of parliament. And ahead of that, though, the National Peace Council had been trying to have a meeting with the two leading political parties and any other participating party ahead of the voting tomorrow. And Henry Nana Boakye, who is the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, had been speaking ahead of that meeting and gave indications that they had not seen the NDC executives at the meeting. Let's listen to what Nana Boakye had to say.
We received this official invitation from the National Peace Council. And with your permission, I will read the General Secretary NDC, the General Secretary MPP. Dear Honorable General Secretaries, request for short meeting dialogue ahead of AKWATIA by-elections. Following the National Peace Council's engagement with the NDC on July 29th and the MPP on July 30th, in fulfillment of our pledge to engage you ahead of the AKWATIA by-elections, the board respectfully requests a short meeting with the leadership of both the NDC and MPP for a dialogue in AKWATIA ahead of the by-elections as follows. Monday, 1st September, 2 p.m., venue AKWATIA, and it was signed by the Executive Secretary, the National Peace Council. For us, we are very disappointed because we accorded this invitation with utmost respect. We came into this meeting fully represented by the Eastern Regional Chairman, Jeff Kunedu-Ado, and then the National Youth Organizer, Salam Mustafa. Only for us to see the representative from the NDC side. All of them are constituency officers, constituency organizer, deputy secretary also. We are of the view that the representative from the NDC side clearly cannot commit the NDC to any peace process regarding the AKWATIA by-election. We raised this preliminary objection before the meeting commenced, and we also requested that there is a need for the NDC to be fully represented by their national executives. Other than that, we will not be able to take part in this process.
So that is Henry Nana Boakye, who says that due to the absence of national executives of the NDC at that meeting they were supposed to have with the National Peace Council, they were not also going to honor that meeting or will not be part of the meeting because NDC had sent just constituency executives. Well, make of it what you will, but that's what has happened regarding that particular issue. Let's go on to some other stories this evening.
A quest for survival is creeping among displaced families in the communal conflict at Benyiri as food, water